Hi everyone, this is Ian Hewitt speaking. By the way, that's on YouTube if you want to see who I am. It's Facebook, I should say, facebook.com/iHewitt, IHEWITT. So just any facebook.com/iHewitt.com. And we're here for, movementsensorlights.com. And if you didn't get it that time, movementsensorlights.com. And again, yes, you've probably realised now that these are going to be cheap and nasty, not just nasty. And lastly, if you're a moron and you can't read, okay, don't forget, memorise this, it's highly important. Okay, as I said, my name's Ian Hewitt. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been following this new COB LED lighting systems. COB means chip on board. LED, as probably everyone knows, is light emitting diode. So they're COB LED lights, and originally, in the early days, the best you had was a light like that. It would have a back on it, sticker, 3 batteries, but it was a push button job. For example, you'd stick it on next to your bed, and if there was a power out or whatever, you push it like that. But as you can see, they were pretty complex, pretty weak, and you had to push them on. And they sucked a fair bit of power. So anyway, it grew on, and the technology came along, and they really started getting good. So I really started looking into them. Now, what I found was, when I went to outfit my home with them, is that none of the mounting systems that come with them work. None of them are adequate, believe it or not. To prove a point, today, this is a mounting magnetic strip made by 3M that happened to get the remote run. Just to show you how sticky it is, it's really sticky. When we peeled it off, it was mega sticky. And what we did was, we put it on there, and then we mounted the metal strip. They come with a metal strip that you also mount on the other side of it. So I'll show you what I mean without getting stuck to pieces. This is called deboxing. It's probably done a little more elegantly usually. The charge cable. We try and only sell rechargeable equipment. Unfortunately, there are still some great lights that require batteries. For instance, that one. It's a great light and lasts for ages, etc. It goes off well, but it's an environmental disaster if you use normal batteries. If you use these, for example, or Everreadys or Duracell, whatever, you're an environmental maniac. Really, it couldn't be worse. So what we're doing is, any lights you buy off us that do require batteries, they will come with a charger, and we will insist that there'll be a link to where to buy them. We can't really ship batteries, but there'll be a link, and we hope that you'll promise to buy the rechargeable batteries we suggest, charge them in the charger that we give you free, because I'll just shut it down if I think it's actually adding to if you do the numbers, if it's adding to pollution. If you use normal batteries, we're talking 600 of them going into landfill and destroying the planet, compared to 8 rechargeables. Really, you want 2 sets. So, compared to 4 of there's 2 packets of them, 4 of those, right? Let's call it, there's 3 per light, often 4. So you need 8, so you would need 4 of those. And they are not, you're never going to get a rechargeable battery as good as a brand new, top quality Energizer, Bunny, Duracell, killer, expensive battery. But they're an environmental disaster. And even if you got half that, in other words, you had to for example, that got 6 weeks, but you have to change them every 3 weeks because you're using rechargeables, you're going to have to do them every 3 weeks. Otherwise, they're an environmental disaster. And the opposite of that is, if you do use rechargeables, the worst ones you can cycle 300 times, which means they can be recharged 300 times. And there's ones on the market that can be recharged 1,000 times. And buy the most expensive you can. Avoid a brand called BYT, they're green and yellow. I actually had to throw them away. They were way subpar. I'll go into the different batteries and that later, because we'll just explain what happened. So we mounted this, and this is the best, one of the best on the market. Now, just because it's that shape doesn't mean it's this one. This one happens to have writing on it. It says, your delight. Delight. Anyway, that shape doesn't mean it's the same one. You'll have ones that have different writing on them. I thought they all came out of the same factory. They don't. And the reason is, we've put some in the freezer, and one brand works, the other brand dies quickly. So, but I'm not sure that's the exact one. We reserve the right to advertise this light, but sell you the best one that looks the same. But let's go back to it. This is one of the best on the market, and we had a catastrophic failure. This is what we did. We followed the instructions, we peeled off the back, and we stuck it on. You now have a magnet light, very much like that one. And if it was dark, it would go on like that. Very, very similar to that. The difference was, and why it fell off a week later, is these adhesives, these peel-off stick-on adhesives, don't work. They all fall off eventually. You need our systems that we've come up with. Otherwise, they're hopeless. They simply don't work. How we've got around this one, if you're watching and you're wondering, yeah, they always fall off. The quick fix for this was super glue, okay? Super glue and the mega stick is strong enough and it won't come off. Without the super glue, it's gonna fall one day. Now also, I've just covered it up, but it does come with the tip, and there is one other way, and this is how they all used to get mounted in the early days. You know, you've got a nail and you hang it on a nail and it blows off. Now, yes, it's easy to take off to recharge, but hanging on a nail is not ideal and no good for a cupboard, wardrobe, which these are fabulous for. You know, you put this in a wardrobe, and my 80-year-old mum is thrilled to bits that she now can seal her clothes. She's just got two of these, stuff them on there. The next thing is, so we now have one that is super glued and stuck on, and what we're supposed to do now is, you can stick that on a car or anything metal, so you always make the device, could be a toilet light, whatever, you always make the device the sticky one and the tin. I've actually got ones where it's the tin on this one and the magnets on the wall, and they work fine, but you've got to choose one or the other. And I highly recommend you make the device, the magnetic one, and the tin on the wall, rather than the tin on here and the magnet on the wall. I'll explain why later, but trust me, it's the way to go in my opinion. Now, this is supposed to, for example, go under the cabinet in your bathroom, okay, or in a wardrobe, a cupboard, pantry, anywhere. It's incredible that we actually go around in the dark and, you know, we have light everywhere, and in cupboards it's dark as hell. And once you've actually fixed that problem, you can't live without it. I'll give you a quick example. Follow me, cameraman, camerawoman, camera personal assistant. An example might be like that. Now, if you did have a power out, how are you going to see to do that, to fix the switches, when you're in the dark? Batteries are the way to go. I think we even have a little one in here. Oh yes, it's a different style. And could you really ever live with, out it. Now this one obviously needs recharging. Yes, and once that's recharged it'll look better. And the one in the freezer. Okay, now that's been there a month and still going. That's a killer light, that one. So, back to the grind over here. So, Now that's super glued on. This one is super glued on. I'm simply going to go and take it in there, plug it in. In fact, I might even plug it in here. And in 2 hours, that will be charged. And there she goes, straight in the USB. And charging. Okay. Now, same deal. However, this is very light. So this actually probably will suffice. You peel off the supplied bit. It's a double-sided 3M tape. 3M, quality company. Great stuff, but unfortunately, the stick-on in all brands does not work. So you've now got the double-sided special tape. Forget about the normal double-sided tape you buy in a news agency. It doesn't work, it's useless. There's better, we'll show you. Now that will probably stick in your mum's cupboard, in one of the cupboards in your bathroom, whatever. But the same old story, if I was doing it over, it would have super glue on there, go into the cupboard. Now where was I gonna, are we gonna mount one? Where was I gonna put another one? I think I wanted to do a cupboard. Yes, that's right. Follow me everyone and we'll go and put one in the cupboard. Now, once again, as I said, I'm not gonna trust their systems. I'm going to put super glue on it, and my lovely assistant and I are going to go into this bedroom and we're going to fit one of a movementsensorlights.com light to this wardrobe. So, about dead center of the wardrobe, that's where the doors close on it. So I would stick it a little further in than that. And we now have super glue plus their mega sticky, doesn't work, stick on glues. And we have a magnet, nicely. Now there's on all the best lights, they have 3 switches. On, and all of them work as a flashlight or a torch. Okay, at all times, all of our lights you can just pull off and you have a flashlight, and you'll be surprised how handy that is. But anyway, there's on, off, and auto. And because it's moving, it's too bright in here, it's not going to work. But let's see what happens when we turn off the lights. I wonder what's in here. Oh, and it hasn't turned off yet. Oh, it just did. And we now have light in this cupboard where before we had darkness. So as you can see, and believe me guys, if your mother or your wife has not got all her wardrobes lit, etc., you have a present. You can buy her. You can do the whole house for under $200. And that includes battery chargers and battery testers and I mean other things. This is a strip light, another brand, a type. That same thing, movement detector. However, it has 4 rechargeables in here, or you're an animal if you've got real batteries in there. And you can actually have it on, off, and there's a switch here. So you can actually have it as a light on and off, or movement activated if you want. And once again, to get this off, and there's 4 rechargeable batteries. Okay, and really, you've got to use rechargeable batteries, and you buy double the amount you need. In other words, for that piece of equipment, you would have 8 batteries, so that they're ready to go. As soon as this, say once a month, runs out, you replace them just immediately. You can just replace them without having to charge them at the same time. So, now that we've done that, let's do, I think there was another one required for the bathroom. So once again, now, there are other ways, and let's actually show you the other way of mounting them. By the way, these are just another type of lights that we love as well. On, off, auto. Excellent light for under the bonnet of a car, etc. And these are the 2 main lights we'll be selling. They're both rechargeable, they're lightweight, top quality, tested ruthlessly, and excellent. So I want to put one in the bathroom under there. Is this fully charged? I think it is, yes. So we're going to do it, but this way I'm going to show you Velcro. Now, actually I'm going to do this one for that one's already, this one has got the rough on here and it should be the soft. Now there's two sides of Velcro, rough and soft. And I heard that NASA, who invented basically Velcro, so that stuff that used to float around in the spaceships, they could grab it and stick it on Velcro. Perfect. A brilliant invention. And it's tough and it's strong, and it's mainly used in the model aircraft hobbyist areas. And it is magic for our needs. So, this one, however, is for under the bonnet of my car. I made a mistake, I put the rough on it, and under my car it's rough and it won't stick. So this has to be actually replaced, but I use super glue and can never get that off. However, I could put some soft here and be enough to hold it. We'll think about that in a moment. What we will do is put soft Velcro on this for under the bonnet of my car. So I have to look for it. Because it's white, we'll keep in the theme of white. That's rough again as well. We're looking for the soft Velcro, which of course, when you're showing everybody, isn't here. There must be a roll of soft Velcro just here. There's two rolls, so there's the female, the opposite of that.
Inbox.
Can you have a look over there? I'll have a look. Okay, that's soft. Good enough, actually. Soft, colour doesn't matter in this instance. I would normally colour coordinate. So this is going to go on the back of this light, and this light's going to go under the bonnet of my car, and it'll last a year, and it will, thank you, and it will hold it very strongly. Again, Velcro, supplied by us, in certain different ways. We've got Velcro spots, Velcros different ways. In this case, it's quite simple. We take off the Velcro, again, peel on, don't trust it, doesn't work, has to be increased with super glue, or at least another sort of rubber glue, ones that you might use on the soles of shoes, that sort of thing. Now this is a fair bit of Velcro. This is soft Velcro, NASA style, so remember, soft Velcro on the device, rough on the wall, wherever. Now this is a lot of Velcro. Normally you would only need an inch of Velcro and an inch on the item, and that will hold, like hanging on a wall, for example. But this is going under a car, and I drive hard sometimes, and because it'll be used so rarely, I want one for under my bonnet. That one, if I'm unlucky, I'll use it once a year. But boy, will I be happy when I've got it. Again, same thing, this light, the way they suggest to put it on is ridiculous. It comes with a round peel off, and the magnet in it is so weak, it doesn't hold. We've super glued some soft on there. We're going to put some little batteries in that shortly. In fact, there's one with some batteries in it. Boom, soft Velcro. We'll stick that outside, but no switch. They're cheap, they're very good, they last for a long time under the batteries for rechargeables. They're great in all ways, but there's no lights on them, so once they're on, if you move or it's dark, and you move, it will come on and stay on. So it's staying on now because it's moving. We put it upside down and it'll turn off shortly. It is better if they've got a switch, but of course you pay for it. So that one we're going to try under my car, and these, as I said, these round lights, check for all this, check this, motorsensorlights.com, and for example, I mean, we've got stuff where I used to have a cubby house, as everyone does, or a back shed, a hole in the ground with a tarp over it, and we used to have stinking, now I'm showing my age here, kiddies, but we used to have stinking lamps, believe it or not, with these kerosene it was called, and you lit these smoky glass chamber things full of liquid. Basically, you might as well just throw it on you and light yourself. But no, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was dangerous, and they smelt like, they were terrible. Today, I would peel off the back and put this on, then it would fall off, and when I realised how to do it properly, I would Velcro it on, stick it in my shed, and pow! And we're talking $5, 3 lights, and one of those, 2 of those, and you have lit your shed. No wires running into it, no electricians, no getting signed off. You've got cheap power for it, and it uses hardly any, and you've got rechargeables in there, and now you've got light anywhere. If you've got trash cans, where there's, when you go out and you take out your trash, there's never any light. Well, I would put a movement one, so I got there, and I would use one like this for my trash can, mounted outside, fully waterproof, and when it thinks it's dark, that comes on and goes off in 15 seconds when people stop moving. People don't stop moving, it stays on. If it thinks it's night, if it thinks it's day, it turns off. And these are absolutely brilliant, and I think we've got a special on under $5. Incredible. And again though, the mounting system they give you is one hole in the top, so hang it off a nail, which does work. I've got one hanging off a nail on the tree up there, but believe me, it's much nicer if you had Velcro, or even better if it's going to stay there forever. I would use, in this case, 2-part epoxy, depending on what I'm putting it onto. 2-part epoxy, if you don't know, is araldite or 2-part epoxy. You mix it, it's 2-part glue, you mix it up, it's very strong. And once you stick that on a wall with that, that's not going anywhere. We've got some mounted outside. We might go for a wander in a minute. And I'll just put, I was going to put this together and show you some of the things that go wrong with other lights, but I think that's enough for tonight. It's covered Velcro and mounting lights that way. Again, as I said, please go to, don't forget, okay, don't forget, go there and everything's there. We give you a kit. I mean, we've got this kit. These are, by the way, kick-ass toilet lights, which is I've got to turn video later. But we have kits where you are going to need to charge more than one thing. So this is a dock or whatever of USB chargers. You're going to need batteries. We tell you the best ones. You're going to need super glue. Comes with super glue. You're going to need epoxy. Comes with epoxy. You're certainly going to need Velcro, and many of the other things that come. A battery tester. I've been testing battery testers. That's one, and the other one is here. And you hook this one, because these will come with your lights, everyone. You simply hold this on the negative, shall we say, and this comes down on the positive, and the little meter should jump up into the green. And as long as it's anywhere in the green, we're in business. Does that work? Anyway, believe me, it does work. And this one, I'm not sure if it's better or not, but same deal. You hold it there, you slide that down, and you'll see that. I'll take it out and put it back here. Okay. Okay. Can you see? And I'm going to hold it there and see that it's off, and then it slowly comes down, and you've got a whole one. Hard to do for the camera. And now look where she is now. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that's right in the green, that's perfectly charged. And this is now notice you can't really read the brand. Always a warning sign. People aren't proud to put their name on it. For example, this Sanyo one has Sanyo plastered all over it. Now, I've got a feeling that that's going to be a better battery than Acme, is it? Or even worse, we've got Anyloop, right? And you go, oh, Anyloop batteries. Well, maybe they're good, they say they're good on the internet. Then you read, made by Panasonic. Now, if they were really good, you'd think that Panasonic would want their name associated with it. Seeing we know that Panasonic doesn't want their name associated, they want to call it Enyloop, up to you people, however you pronounce it. The point is, I wouldn't buy that. I would buy one that's got Sanyo written all over it, like them, or Sony, or Tektron, or any brand just about, Energizer, as long as they, not embarrassed about, and a lot of them should be embarrassed about the crappy batteries that they produce. I've been shocked at how bad rechargeable batteries are unless you buy the right ones. And we'll help you through the whole process. Go to, what is it? Go to in red and purple. Go there and there'll all be the tips and tricks, how to mount it, what you can and can't buy. Here's another one for you, which I'll show you later, but you plug it, it's not an activated light, but you put it into a USB and it uses very little light for a lot of, almost no power for a lot of light. If you have a power blackout, which we do here, you put this into your computer, you may have 2 hours on your computer, you put this in, now you've got 1 hour and 58, but you've got a lot of light. Whereas other sources aren't so economical, shall we say. I mean, the toilet light here goes for months and months and makes a light, it makes the light quite attractive for a long time on very little power. Again, there's a lot of these you can get battery and rechargeable. For example, the toilet light comes in both. These lights, a lot of them, there's going to be a lot of the aluminium ones on the market soon. I'll show you those. There's going to be a lot of them on the market, and they're going to have their whole show about these particular lights because they're so endemic. And there's the old models which are 4 batteries in them, and the new ones which are rechargeable. And the rechargeables are the only ones we're going to sell and are far superior. But the battery ones, and if you're going to use them rechargeable, then we'll supply them. They're very good, but they're going very cheap. Now they're about $2.50 each, or you might pay $3.99, whereas they used to be $14.99, because the rechargeables have come and no one really wants I should say the USB charged ones have come, and rechargeable batteries, though good, are not as good as plugging it in like your iPhone with a cable. And we go for the very best, and we've reserved the right to send you whatever we think is the best of the same type of what you order. So thanks very much, guys. We're going to try and save the planet and have lots of fun with lights. Should we follow me out and see us put one in the bonnet of the car? What do you think? Yeah? Alright, follow me everyone, and we'll see what happens when we mount this under the bottom of our car, and stay tuned for the next exciting episode to see if it stays on, or if it works, etc. While we're going, we might as well show you a few little things. Oh, what a surprise. That one works. Only works, of course, if there's no light. This one, actually it was supposed to go here. Now that should be rough, that should be smooth. Yeah, see, perfect. The one I put up there, I tested, I've taken it off. Follow me everyone. You'll see. Oh, a spotlight. Yeah, we have one near the car. It's great, mounted on the lamppost. I'll show you in the daytime what it looks like. And we're going to just mount this one under the bonnet because they don't have one, and they don't have one under the tailgate, and I'll be doing that one tomorrow. Here we go. We've got to make sure it's on auto, and luckily we've got our floodlight so we can tell. And that's on. That's the opposite to on. And there's the Velcro from last time, which is rough. This is now smooth. It's on because it's moving. And that will go off in 15 seconds. And if I ever, and probably won't need it, but if I do, especially if you race, etc., you will thank your lucky stars that you had it. Right, let's see if it works now, huh? And believe it or not, the tailgate doesn't have one, so we'll put that one in next. Oh, I love that. Great for security when you go near your car, lights coming on. And there she goes, because we moved and it's dark, we now have perfect light. And this little one over here, not sure if we'll worry about that now. Another night. Okay, thanks very much everyone. Stay tuned for movementsensorlights.com and sayonara until next time.